Hi, welcome to this quick overview of a very cool feature in Workshop software, which is the business intelligence. So when you run a business, it's super important that you get as much information as you possibly can to make really informed decisions. And we're super pumped to be bringing you this business intelligence portion of Workshop software, which is so cool. So on your dashboard, you have the home screen, which shows you some recent activity and so on. And there is the overview, customers, vehicles, and products. And all these other four are all business intelligence. Let's check it out. So if you jump into the overview, what this is going to do is it's going to give you an overview of your business. It has some key numbers across the top, number of jobs and bookings and so on, some registrations and services that are due. And then what it does is if we scroll down a little bit, you can see your sell price or your sales and costs on a year-by-year basis. So we'll go back for as long as you've been using Workshop software and show you that information on a year-by-year basis. And the real cool thing is we can drill into that as well. I'm going to show you that in just a second. There's things such as mechanic performance, messages sent, where your customers are coming from, what your breakdown of your different types of products are. So this just gives you a quick overview, things like outstanding payables and receivables. We also, if we jump into customers, for example, this will give us a breakdown of customers. So again, what we've got is we've got the revenue and we've got the average dollar sale on a year-by-year basis. So you can see at a very quick glance to see whether your average dollar sale is going up or down, which is really cool. And of course, you can see whether your revenue is going up or down as well. You have things like the breakdown of services versus non-service jobs. So you can see that 16% of your business is services. And in here, we've got the breakdown of the top 50 customers by revenue, right? So we can see here that Genevieve Adams is 50% of our revenue. She's a pretty good client. And what you can see is if you're using the customer source, you can see a breakdown of customer source as well. Now, what gets really cool here is if I either just click directly on that, it will just show me 2020 for that particular year. So what you'll notice now is that things like in 2020, your services have increased to 24% of your business. You can see here that Genevieve isn't such a great customer anymore, and that it looks like Mark is the biggest customer in 2020. And what you can actually see too is you can see that the breakdown of this, and it breaks this down across your top 50 clients for the actual individual customers as well, which is super cool. Now, what we can do is we can take this one step further. If I right-click on this and go into the calendar hierarchy, I can break this down by quarters, by months, or by days, and I can do that for any calendar style graph that you've seen in this business intelligence. So if I wanted to break that down to months, for example, and I wanted to look at, so now what I can do is if I click on that month of August, for argument's sake, what it will do is it will just break down the transaction or the information based upon August. So in August, our services have dropped down to 12%. We can see that Mark is our biggest customer at 45% of our business for August. You can see what has happened here with the different customers just for August. I can take that one step further, for example. So if I wanted to break down into August and go days in that date, okay, I can see the days that have been transacted. So if I look at just the 24th of August, I can see one particular day, and it'll show you there, didn't actually do any services on that day. 76% of our business was from Mark, and you can see that these are the customers that actually purchased something from us on that day and the amount that they spent. So you can see how cool this is from a drill down perspective. It really gets into super in-depth information, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clear that and remove all of those filters and just go back to the start. And I'm going to jump into vehicles because vehicles is super cool as well. So what I can do from a vehicles perspective is this breaks things down into makes and models of vehicles. This is super cool. The type of stuff that you're selling, again, we've got this over all of the years. So you can see that this is for right across our business. And we can see that we've done 103 invoices, for example, in 2020, and we have serviced we've worked on 37 vehicles. So that's the unique number of vehicles. So in other words, basically the number of customers that you have. So by unique, we mean that if a customer came back 10 times, that will be one unique vehicle. If they brought that vehicle in 10 times, it'd be one count there. But what you can see over the right-hand side here is you can see your breakdown of your makes. And if I wanted to, I can, for example, just click on Holden, and then that will then you see these graphs will change now. and you'll see that this will change and just show me the Holdens. Okay, so now you can see, well, in 2016 we did pretty well out of Holdens, and maybe now in 2020 we've done 7 invoices on 5 Holdens. What we can do even further is we can bring that down into model or by the year. So if I wanted to go into model and break up my Holdens, you can see that Commodores have been 86% of our business, and I can actually click on that if I just wanted to look at Commodores for argument's sake, right? So what this does now is this will break this down across all of my years for Commodores. So in 2020, iService did 5 invoices and 3 Commodores. What you can see here too is the revenue for just the Commodore that we've broken this down into. In fact, what I might do is let's just clear that and go back to the start again, and I'll show you what this looks like for all of our transactions. In fact, what I can do is just toggle my filters, and I'm going to turn off the filter of Commodore. I'll just remove the filters. But what this does is this breaks down, you've got the total revenue, and this will break this down into your different fuel types. So this inner ring is your fuel type. So you've got no fuel type there. Here we've got gas, we've got diesel, we've got petrol, electric, and so on. So so for argument's sake, if I want to look at the diesels, if I then go out to diesels, you can see that, well, all of my diesels are actually front-wheel drive. But if you go to, say, the no fuel type, which I should have put a fuel type in it, dummy data, demo data that we've got here, but you can see here that these were front-wheel drives, these were no-wheel drives, so there hasn't been a drive type set on the vehicle. These were rear-wheel drives. So you can see of rear-wheel drives, then what we can do, for example, is we can see that the vast proportion of the rear-wheel drives that we work on are Holdens. You can see if we come down here, there's some Hyundais and then Fords and so on. And then this is the no drive type, and the biggest one again is Holdens, and then Toyotas and Mitsubishis and so on. So you can see going from the inside out, the actual revenue by the different type. And what you can see here too is how booked up, or how not, this isn't bookings, this is services due. So you can see that, see the 11th is actually a bit darker than, say, the 10th, right? Or the 9th. So the 9th has only got 1, the 10th is actually slightly darker, and the 11th is a bit darker because it's got more. So basically the darker the day, the more services that are due on that day. So it gives you a bit of an insight into what your services look like for the future. So down the bottom here, we've got the service messages sent versus the services completed. This gives you a bit of an indication of how many messages you send for services and the return that you get on them, basically. So for example, in 2017, we've sent 40 messages. We got 56 services back. So it gives you some sort of indication of that. What I'm going to do now is jump into the next dashboard, which is products, and products is super cool as well. So this has got a lot of information, a lot of drill down in here, which is really, really cool as well. So first up, we've got the revenue and the average dollar sales. So that gives you, again, sort of on a year-by-year basis, and we can drill into the year as we have done before. But what makes this really, really cool is that we can, for example, if I wanted to click on tires, for argument's sake, what this now does is it will rehash the whole dashboard just for tires. So you can see exactly what you've done on a year-by-year, month-by-month, day-by-day, if we wanted to drill into that sort of stuff, right? But it also has the best-selling products, so the best-selling tires in this instance. So you can see that this one is way above the others in terms of its bestseller. We could look at, for example, stock, for argument's sake, as in parts versus labor or consumables and so on. So you can see here that this is the breakdown of the parts that you're selling, or your top selling parts. So this gives you a list of what your top selling parts are. You've also got a breakdown of inventory as well. So just to give you a view of the actual inventory itself. And if you scroll down towards the bottom here, you've got products with quantity of less than the minimum. So based upon the selection that you've made, right? So if you wanted to drill into a particular area or a particular group or so on, that will show it specifically for that drill down that you've done. So if I just scroll back up to the top again, what we can, over on the right-hand side, we've got income by product groups, right? So here we've got just a default or a not applicable, which, so our bad, we probably should put better data in our system than that. And if I go into others, this breaks this down into, whatever the others were, which are the smaller numbers. But for argument's sake, if I click on oil filters, I can then just see just the oil filters, right? And what you can see now is that these graphs will change for the oil filters. So you can see your sales by year for oil filters. You can see which are your best-selling oil filters. filters. You can see if there's any minimum. So there's none less than minimum in the oil filter. But as per usual, I can, drill into this by maybe quarters for argument's sake. So I want to see that on a 2020 quarters. So I can see that quarter one, we sold $60 worth of oil filters, cost us $53. The average dollar sale of invoices that we sold oil filters on was $854. So this is really, really powerful, this information, to be able to drill down into, be able to see that sort of information. And you'll notice with this one as well, you've got a product types. So this breaks it down. In fact, I need to clear that selection because it's only stock for oil filters. But if I clear the selection, I'll go into the toggle the filters. I'm going to remove the product groups. I'll just close that again for you. But what you can see here is in the product types, it breaks it down into the stock, the labor, tires, consumables, sublets, etc. So some of those have fallen into others. So again, I could click just labor if I wanted to. So just show me just labor, sales, what's my top selling labor, job codes, for example, that sort of thing. So really, really powerful stuff. This has got so much info. All your drill downs and all that sort of stuff is really cool right across the board here. And we're really pumped and excited to have this as part of Workshop Software for for you to make amazing business decisions and be able to give you the power to do that sort of stuff is just so valuable. Hope you really got some great value out of this. Appreciate it. And thanks for watching, and all the best in your business. Really hope this gives you some really great insights into making better business decisions.